All right, folks, good afternoon. Welcome to our industry-leading full throttle brief. Let's go ahead and get airborne with the primary live trade brief. We nailed it again, guys. Like I told you yesterday, actually I told you before the G20 summit going in there, I said I'm bearish unless the president walks out of Buenos Aires with a no-kidding trade deal, we head lower. So the relief rally or the short squeeze yesterday, I told you to sell into, and that we would head lower. So glad we got our SDS hedges on. I'm glad we got that. We're looking at a one-day profit of $1,850, $1,900 if you allow me, in our one-day weekly options trade, which I would get out of. So Jeff, hey Wiz, the new tech system works from top of ski lift in Colorado. Thank you for making that happen. Blue skies and fresh powder. Awesome. Good. Yeah, we are certainly not getting Cavu from the stock market right now. Okay, so for new potential new members, first of all, welcome aboard. Everybody needed to watch the welcome aboard brief. It's a video. I didn't want to spend time today going through too much of my background and the background of TGO. What we do is we kind of open the door to our squadron for a couple of our briefs throughout the week, and we let potential new folks come in. That's the best way to see flight operations, is to see it live, and that's what you're getting to do right now. But real quick, I want to see how much I have to cover with all that stuff with a quick poll. Let me kick off with a poll here. So everybody take a look at that. And new members, do me a favor. You guys, obviously you are familiar with TGO. You guys don't have to vote. But if you are new, let me know if you're familiar with me or TGO. If you're not, yeah, how did you earn the call sign, Wiz? I will tell you before you waste your vote on that, that is a 10-drink minimum. And I think maybe some of the folks that went to our member event out in Lake Tahoe last year got that. So well, at least 3% of you want to know. So how many of you are familiar with TGO? If you're relatively new, meaning you've never heard of Top Gun options before, and this is your first time, because I need to know what to brief in the beginning and with which airspeed to press. James, call sign Scurvy from Connecticut. Welcome aboard, man. Air Force. James, you shouldn't have told me you were in the Air Force. You're barely on our side, so you can excuse yourself. Hey, it's Army Navy week, guys, so we have to give each other grief. All right, so about 19%. So I'm gonna press pretty quick today to actually. Let me get rid of that. Let me close this and share it real quick. Let me get rid of that. And then we'll do some screen sharing here, and we should be good to go. Hey, current TGO members, do me a favor. Let me do me a favor, and as we go throughout the week here, you guys know that you are the best testimonials that we have, right? So let me. As we go throughout the week, do me a favor and let people know how you do, right? Or how you doing? Maybe in Amazon, or maybe your TGO top winning position. We've been doing the Lord's work in CSX. Good 1 week trade in Raytheon that's bearish. We're going to add to that. MGM, man, the casinos had a rip your face off rally yesterday, so MGM's looking good. We've been trading VXX through this current shitstorm we're in, our Brazil trade, and even having our hedges. How many of you can give me a hell yeah if you are hedged and on a day like today you're printing money? So if your longs are getting hammered right now, our hedges are doing great. Let's do that one. Let's do that real quick. How many of you are hedged or tredged? And if you don't know what that word means, you're going to learn this week. A tredge. It's kind of a top secret TGO term. We made this up probably a year ago. It's a trade that also serves as a hedge. So how many of you are hedged right now? And if you're not, I'm looking at about 35% saying no right now, 13% saying I don't even know what a tredge is. That's good. Because by the way, folks, we are going lower. We are going back, in my opinion, to the October lows. Leonard, hell yeah. Elaine, in hedged, yes. Al's still in SDS. Awesome. Nelson, yes. Chuck, yes. Good. So all of my members are hedged, and that's exactly what we need to see there. So 36% of you, if you're not hedged right now, it is not too late. right? It is not too late to get hedged. Every one of these market pullbacks we've been right about. I've put on some hedge protection using SDS, and it's worked out for us. Okay, so real quick, folks, welcome aboard Full Throttle, industry leading. The doors are open. I'm going to show you our current positions. We're going to look at closing a one-day trade from yesterday. Yesterday was a members only brief. I didn't open it up to potential new members. It's weekly options. So we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. And as I said, maybe tomorrow, even though the market's closed for a fellow naval aviator, I'm still going to do a vertical spread training. I'll talk about the schedule changes here in a couple minutes. You're registered for all the events this week, folks. You don't need to re-register. Where's the link? You get an automatic email about an hour before every event with the link to register. So don't worry about that. Everything's recorded, and it's on this page right here. And this is where the welcome aboard video is as well. So this is a pretty easy link to remember. Go.topgunoptions.com/FT replay. That stands for Full Throttle Replay. So if you have no idea who I am, you didn't follow instructions because you were supposed to watch this welcome aboard brief. It tells you who I am, our 7-step proprietary trade plan, and also our strategic, operational, tactical way we trade. You have got to watch this right there. And then below this video will be are the assets you got for registering, the trade plan, and the OPCL, the options pocket checklist. But after we get done today's session, this will be posted maybe, 20, 30 minutes after we get done our brief. So all the replays are going to be on that page. Please bookmark that and save it. Okay. Make sure you download that 7-step trade plan and the options pocket checklist I just showed you on the page. And look over there in your little control panel on the right. You should see something that says handouts. I uploaded just before I jumped on the air our 1-page trade plan. It's instead of going through the 10-page trade plan, which is kind of a Bible, this is the Cliff Notes version. So you need that one. Okay, so here we go. Here's our flight schedule. Whoops. Here's our flight schedule for the week, and there's some changes, obviously. Yesterday, you should have watched the welcome aboard video. If you didn't, watch it on the replay page. Today, we're doing the primary live trade brief. We're going to take a look at closing our one-day trade in FXI, and we're going to take a look at a bearish spread on Raytheon and a bull put spread on Amazon. There is a God, folks, and he's a good dude, lady, or Z, or whatever the gender neutral term is. Sent out a text alert about an hour ago, and it worked perfectly, and sent out an email as well. So real quick, for current members, everybody, it was a full 100% successful shot there, which is awesome. Very fired up. If you're a potential new member, this shows you the power of what we do here at TGO. There's the text alert that went out. I got it on my cell phone, and then here's the Amazon bull put spread that I sent out as well. So this is what we do here at Top Gun Options. I send out a text alert, I send out an email alert, and then after we get done the live trade brief, I also post the replay and the video. So you get a lot of opportunities to hear from us here at TGO. So, and I got the text alert within 47 seconds, and I got the email in my Gmail 1 minute after I press send. So this is awesome. Very, very happy with everything that is going on. Okay. Thomas, we'll talk about the Amazon trade when we get tactical. Let's stay on our brief here. Tomorrow, like I said, the market is closed, and it's closed to honor a fellow naval aviator, a fellow Navy fighter pilot, George Herbert Walker Bush. Did everybody see the socks that GW is wearing, 41's wearing? He's wearing a Blue Angel diamond formation with his naval aviator wings. If many of you do know George H. Bush, my son's age. My son is 18. He's up at Norwich University in Vermont in the Corps of Cadets. I guess I dropped him on his head when he was a kid because he, instead of taking in his father's footsteps as a naval aviator, he wants to be a marine aviator. So a little mental there, my son. But at essentially my son's age, President Bush joined the Navy, became a bomber pilot. I sailed right near these islands, folks, on the USS Abraham Lincoln and the Kitty Hawk when we were on our way to the Persian Gulf. We sailed past Chichijima, where, thank God, President Bush was bailed out successfully and was rescued by the USS Fisk because the Japanese commander on Chichijima would eat the heart of Americans that he captured in front of his troops to motivate them. So this is, he's a great American, one of the youngest naval aviators, and I love this picture. Seeing him age there. There's he as a young ensign, naval aviator, and there he is as president. I got my leather jacket, and I'm wearing it this week. What is this week? John Peter, my son Jack, and I are heading up on Friday to what? It is Army Navy week, so I got my F-18 shirt on. Go Navy! So the rest of the week, I'm going to be posting stuff on my social media about how the Army sucks and they're barely on our side. So make sure you watch the football game on Saturday. Rumor has it, from a well-placed source, buddy of mine, that the president will be there. Last year it was Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. Yawn. All right, so market close tomorrow, but I'll still do vertical spread training at 1 o'clock. And I think that's enough time after the funeral. 1 p.m. on Thursday, we're going to kind of move everything to the right. We're going to do what we were supposed to do on Wednesday, which is accelerated retirement. That's more of our conservative portfolio, so we'll take a look at the positions in that portfolio. And then we're going to open up 50 slots. Folks, we don't mess around here at TGO. We only do these launches every other month, every 2 months, as we get space, because we don't like a kind of a clown car in the chat box here, kind of like we have right now. I'm not ignoring comments or anything like that. When we have our member sessions, it's kind of a nice tight-knit squadron. So, because as an instructor, I want to be able to answer everybody's questions. We don't have a zoo like some other places. Very tight-knit squadron here. And then Friday at 10 a.m., Jack and I are flying out of Miami down the street there. Man, here comes a black-ass thunderstorm in South Florida. But Jack and I are flying out at like 3 o'clock down to Miami, so we're going to do a brief in the morning, the Analyze Your Trade brief, and we'll debrief the trades that we covered throughout the week, okay? Sound like a plan? So welcome to the Primary Live Trade Brief. It's every Tuesday at 1. Beginner to intermediate options knowledge, folks. So if you don't even know what an option is, kind of like some of my Marine buddies, or how to spell it, you're good to go. Real quick, what is your current level of options experience? And I want even my members to vote on this one, because I want to kind of see how we're doing with our options training there. All right, looks like kind of the intermediate-ish. And be honest, man, I don't see anybody's names or anything like that. But if you're kind of relatively new, do me a favor and be honest. Yeah, Craig. I mean, Army's ranked. Army almost beat, who was it? Ohio. Army took Ohio to overtime and lost by like a point. Army almost beat Ohio, and it was awesome. So I think, but any given Sunday, man, Navy can go 1-11 for the season, and it's considered a successful season as long as they beat Navy. It was Oklahoma. Oh, one of the O's, Oklahoma. Thanks, Doug. I appreciate it. Okay, so let me close that, and here's who we're dealing with. So good. So 5% relatively new. Don't worry, we'll take care of you. 18% some knowledge, intermediate, and Jedi Master. Okay, so good. That's awesome. That brings a smile to my face. So now I know exactly what we need to be focusing on here. All right. So I'm going to wrap up my intro really quick because we have a lot to cover, man. So you have got to watch the Welcome Aboard. I think I've said that 10 times, and I mean it. I'm going to give us a quick strategic and operational brief. How many of you thought Sunday, good news out of Argentina? How many of you, well, my private coaching clients, I was texting with them like, don't believe this, man. It is not good news. Sell into any rally on Monday. And I got a lot of, hey, you were right, Wiz, good call, texts. So, we're heading lower. We haven't had what I call the Fred Sanford, the grab your chest. I'm the big one, the big one, Elizabeth, you big dummy, Lamont. So, we go lower. We haven't seen the washed out institutional selling, a spike in volatility. Yeah, we're going to talk about the VIX here in a little bit. The VIX is not showing any panic. Wiz, the Dow's down 600 points. Guess what? It's the new normal. I briefed you on this last week, guys. When volatility means uncertainty, guess what's certain right now? Uncertainty. So do a shot every time I say something that's blindingly brilliant, but you have to think about. What is certain right now is uncertainty. And we're going to get to that. We're going to take a look at trades on Amazon, Raytheon, and FXI. All right, guys, real quick. I'm Wiz. I did all that stuff. It was kind of cool. Yada, who cares? I applied everything I learned flying a fighter jet to options trading, and it's not rocket surgery, folks. If they can take a political science poor kid from New Jersey like me, poor Irish Catholic, one of 6 kids, and turn them into a steely-eyed fighter pilot using simple. How do you battle complexity with simplicity? That's how you battle complexity. So they would break it down to the most common denominator. I popped up on the radar of one of the largest options trading firms in the world and essentially helped run that for about 3.5 years. Peak 6 Investments, I was the managing director of strategy, multi-billion-dollar firm, and I was the founder and CEO of the Options News Network, which essentially, I like to call it the CNBC for options. I know John and Pete very well from my time in Chicago, but the CNBC and Fox Business pay lip service, and Bloomberg, to options. We more or less for 2-3 years, we shot from the floor of the CBOE, the CBOT, and had an absolute blast, helping retail traders like yourself, see behind the scenes and what's going on. And that's what I'm doing today. No offense to anybody from Chicago. You can keep it. I decided to move down. I'm a Navy guy, man. I need the ocean. I need the beach. And we came down here to the warm weather. So we're going on 8 years in business. And going strong. Thomas, I did know Sterno, Vice Admiral, Thomas, I'll leave it at this. His death is being called an apparent suicide. So the commander of the 5th Fleet, 3-star Admiral, he was the East Coast Hornet guy. So Sterno, apparently fell backwards onto a bullet. Recently, Sterno had been very, very critical of Iran and had been kind of rattling the saber, and he mysteriously ends up dead in his headquarters in Bahrain. Wife and 2 children. So very, very not good. So not a good week. We lost 2 very cool naval aviators, the president and the commander-in-chief of the 5th Fleet. That's one of the, not to segue to trading immediately, but that's one of the benefits you get here at Top Gun Options, guys. I have a very big network of folks still in the military and government, as long as obviously on Wall Street. So I'm on the phone or Skype or carrier pigeoning throughout the day to get the intel for you guys. It sucks. So, all right, we got to get airborne. Here's our strategic brief. So usually in our live trading sessions, if you're new, I do about a 10 to 15 minute strategic brief. Here's what's going on in the world. Speaking of Sterno, our 3-star Admiral, I'm going to treat you guys like admirals or generals, okay? You're going to sit there with your cigar in your mouth and you're going to listen to this young, smart mouth junior officer give you a strategic brief about what's going on around the world. You probably woke up one day and said, why the hell is my 401k a 401k? What the hell? The Greek debt crisis? Or how about when Vladimir Putin invaded Crimea? Or you name the world event, we briefed all these things and we knew they were either happening or the potential to happen. So you have to think strategically, folks. You can't be sitting here watching Comedy Central, CNBC. Hey, that dude's a good-looking guy, got a nice suit, bullish on Tesla. I'm going to be bullish on Tesla, and you're broke 2 weeks later. You deserve to lose any and every penny if that's how you're trading. I'm going to teach you how to do this the right way. Yes, Rick. The Naval Investigative Service is investigating. I'll leave it at that. I'll get some more intel this weekend up at Army Navy. But yeah, great American. And I was on active duty when Admiral Borda, everybody remember this, Admiral Borda, the chief of naval operations, went home to his home at the Naval Observatory next to the vice president's house, went out into the yard and put a bullet in his chest because some jerk at Newsweek was investigating whether or not some little device the Admiral was wearing he earned in Vietnam, which his files, he earned it. He was on the ship when they got that, but for some reason some admin officer back in the 60s forgot to stamp his one form, and they were going to do this big expose on the Admiral, and he put a bullet in his chest. Anyway, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? Folks, we nailed this. We nailed this pullback. We nailed this pullback. We nailed this pullback. We are going lower. Get your hedges on. We'll talk later today or tomorrow about getting your hedges on. We nailed, as soon as we hit this bottom and we had this rip your face off rally, what did I say? I said, do not believe it. Markets don't do this. That was not a bottom. For us to really, really, really go higher, we need to retest the lows, right? What did we do? We got bearish. We got some volatility hedges. We printed money, and we went here. Well, Wiz, that looks like a retest, and that's where you'd be wrong. We did not retest the lows. What do you look at that, dude? No, don't dude me, guys. You're going to tell me we retested the lows on the Friday after Thanksgiving in a half a day of trading? No, and I predicted that as well. Going into the G20, I said, man, there's a 33% probability the dude walks out with like a trade deal, and they've been lying to us, and it's been top secret. I said or actually not 30. I said 10%. I said the most likely is a trade, kick the can down the road a little bit, blah, 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 but that's not bullish. And I said there's another 10 to 20%, kind of a bell curve, right? There's another 10 to 20% probability that the dude gets up and walks out of dinner and says, get me on my airplane, I'm out of here. What happened? Well, a little bit of B and a little bit of C. Nothing good happened down there, guys. I'm a former military guy. You know what a truce means? You stop shooting at each other, right? This is it's completely being mislabeled by the financial media. Exactly. A ceasefire would be, let's stop shooting. The president if you listen, and I briefed it in my Friday market wrap up that day. If you listen to that dude as he walked to the helicopter, he said, what? Kind of happy with the way things are right now. For 40 years, we've been getting screwed by China. We're bringing in billions of dollars right now to the coffers. I'm good. Kind of like where we are. So that's what he got. So, ladies and gentlemen, and we knew, man, and look at these. The U.S. China face thorny obstacles to lasting trade peace. The biggest headline here is this dude. For the past 2 weeks, remember 2.5 weeks ago, I briefed you that Peter Navarro, kind of a China hawk, got benched. He got disinvited from dinner, and Larry Kudlow came out to the markets. The market whisperer, we'll figure this out. Blah 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 blah. Then what happened? The day the president was getting on the airplane, Kudlow got booted from dinner, and Navarro got reinvited. Now he's appointing this guy to run point on these negotiations, not Steve Mnuchin. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, another Rodney King, can't we all get along, and Larry Kudlow have been booted. Now it's Navarro and Leitzer. The Hawks. Does that sound bullish? I'm telling you guys, we're going lower. And what happened? So look at Goldman yesterday. As the market rallied, and I said, this is a short squeeze, folks. There were a lot of people short yesterday, right? And this is nothing but a short squeeze. And first of all, look at these bounces right here. Little lows are lower. I ain't no super dancing queen chartist, but that's, I can read a chart just as well as anybody. A triple top is uber bearish. Goldman Sachs came out yesterday with a report that says there is a 20% probability that we get a deal in 3 months. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Kudlow and the White House couldn't even be on the same page yesterday. Larry Kudlow said, it's 90 days. So from January 1st to March 31st. And the White House is like, no, dude, you're wrong. The clock started ticking December 1st when we met the guy. Can you believe this? Like your style feels like I'm back in Pensacola. This is why TGO's been around for a while, man. I have no filter, nameless and rankless debrief, just like we used to do at Pensacola, bro. So the odds of a deal, 20%. And that's Goldman, baby. Goldman used to run Washington. How many Treasury secretaries are Goldman Sachs alumni, or how many Treasury secretaries become Goldman Sachs partners? Last week, ladies and gentlemen, Thursday night, I sat there and I waited for the Chinese PMI to come out. Their economy is absolutely imploding. Absolutely imploding. Kerry, yes, everything's recorded. Have a good doctor's appointment. As I said, guys, everything's recorded this week and put on the replay page. Go.topgunoptions.com/FT full throttle replay. Chinese PMI, that's manufacturing, folks. It is imploding. And guess what? The numbers I saw yesterday is another 3 months of Trump shooting the current broadside he's shooting will hit China's GDP by 2%. Let me let that sink in, guys. China ain't on the good end of this. I love this headline last week, folks. You ready for this? It is, it wasn't, no, it was a couple days ago. It is now up to President Trump to rescue the stock market from ending 2018 in the red. So the same jackwads at CNBC who Trump, he can't take responsibility for this market going through the roof and everything like that. Now that it goes down, of course, he's all about, he has to save the market. So we live in very interesting times, ladies and gentlemen. Now let me get to, so we had 3 Fs last week or 2 weeks ago. Friday, meaning Black Friday, Cyber Monday, that's already behind us, not even a recent memory. It was record breaking and the market shrugged. The other F was the fight, the trade war. Or I'm sorry, before that was the Fed. So let me get to that. So 3 Fs, Friday, Fed, and fight. Let's talk about the Fed. Last week, Jerome Powell blinked. So back on October 3rd, where were you? October 3rd, Jerome Powell more or less said, yeah, we're not even close to neutral with interest rates. Holy shit show, Batman. Jerome Powell and the Fed are responsible for that, period. And Donald Trump was correct in the middle of this madness here to say what? Fed chief sucks. I'm not even happy with that dude. I haven't been happy since I appointed him. He's crazy. Crazy to be raising interest rates and crazy to be unwinding the balance sheet that he put on under Barack Hussein Obama. Folks, if you don't get the strategy behind this, under Barack Hussein Obama, he had 2 Fed chiefs that kept interest rates near zero. And also what? Ben Bernanke, man, was shoveling $85 billion a month into the stock market. My daughter, Keely Grace Buckley, could have an up stock market and an average improving economy with the Fed being there. What did Jerome Powell do last week? He said, well, maybe we're closer to neutral. Ladies and gentlemen, in the history of our Federal Reserve, since who was it, Alexander Hamilton, the Fed has never engineered what they call a soft landing. This is going to be a very hard landing, unless in a couple of weeks, Jerome Powell was supposed to speak tomorrow. I forget where he was speaking, but with the president's funeral, it hasn't been rescheduled. So I'm going to tell you, right, and we'll get to what Jeffrey Gundlach said that helped sell this market off, and he's right. Jeffrey, I'm one of the only financial professionals in the world, besides him, that predicted not only does Hillary lose, Trump wins in the market rallies. I said it, he said it 2 months after me. 6-7 months ago, he said, sell Facebook, sell the tech stocks, they're awful. I said that 4 months before Jeffrey Gundlach. Now the yield curve is inverting. I'm not going to go super bond here, but when the Treasury, the 2 and the 5 and the 10 start getting closer together and flatten out and maybe even invert, we're heading towards a recession. So ladies and gentlemen, if you've been a member here for at least the past 2-3 years, I've been screaming at the top of my lungs that the Fed under Janet Yellen and Mr. Bernanke needed to raise interest rates. They're late. They are late to the party, so get ready for a boatload of volatility. I said this as the guy was speaking. We were in a live trade brief. I'm like, he didn't really change what he said, guys. I get the market and everybody's saying that he blinked. I mean, I even a couple sentences ago said he blinked. Here's what I'm getting at. He didn't. It's a wrong characterization. Okay? So Jerome Powell needs to start raising interest rates. And oh, by the way, as he's doing that, he's absolutely obliterating the housing market. Great article in the Journal a couple days ago about how Dallas is imploding. And then I saw an article last night, I forget where it was, on the limousine liberals in the Bay Area. Even housing prices in the Bay Area are starting to implode. And this, we're about to get tactical and look at some trades. You ready for this headline? And if you've been a TGO member for at least a year ago, I said to get out of every FANG. Facebook, awful. The day Mark Zuckerberg said, I don't care about profitability. I want to do good. All right, Peter Pan and Twinkle Toes, put your tights on, sprinkle goodness somewhere else, and take your company private and pay me a nice price. Otherwise, I'm going to sue you as Gordon Gekko for breaking your fiduciary duty. Seriously, when he said that, I almost fell out of my chair. As the CEO of a public company, did he just say, I don't care about profitability? I told you to ditch Apple. Tim Cook, another limousine liberal. I'm not going to unlock this terrorist iPhone because privacy in America. But I put all sorts of crap all over my iPhones in China so they can spy on people. And I use 10-year-old girls in factories to build my $1,000 iPhones that they get paid maybe 10 cents to do. Netflix, Google, and then remember I said the T. I said sell the T fangs. Remember, but the T was silent. I said and guys have been printing money off this. What's the T? Twitter. Jack Dorsey, when he testified in front of Congress, I called him a liar. I felt like that congressman when Obama was speaking. Jack Dorsey is being investigated by a House committee for committing perjury. The man says he doesn't ban conservative voices. You're looking at a conservative with 4,000 followers who got booted off Twitter 2 weeks ago because they didn't like what I said. So once you become a member here, you're going to learn that we have been printing money, my Commanding Officers Club and some of the Commoners Club folks have been printing money. The only way this company survives is when, not if, that guy goes. Has anybody seen him in 3 weeks? Actually, there's people wondering if he's dead. I personally think he's Data from Star Trek, but he was summoned to appear before Parliament. He blew him off and sent some poor lieutenant who got excoriated. This company is going through a shitstorm, and the skipper of the boat is nowhere to be found. And yeah, exactly, Craig. He was selling his shares as he was saying all this stuff. Those things are going down. Apple shares implode today after HSBC downgrades, facing the reality of market saturation. I said it a year ago. I said, get out of Apple. Folks, we were long Apple. We were long Facebook. And then came the stupidity. Russia, collusion, and Facebook ads, and I just want to do good, and Cambridge Analytica. These are awful stocks. Do not get bullish on them ever again. Their day is over with. Now, here's a little bit of a sneak peek for my current members. You guys know I go heads down in December and kind of rebalance our portfolio. Let's take a look at this chart, and then we're going to talk China, Amazon, and Raytheon. Look at this chart, and I'm going to ask this. If you just saw the article I just put up here, you have the answer. Keep it to yourself. I want to see how many figure it out. And one of my coaching clients and I were talking about this a couple weeks ago. You ready? Who's printing money right now? There's so much trading and volatility and nuts going on. Who's making money? Who's making money? There you go. Karen got it. Yeah, we are. Dano, Kevin, we are. You're vol traders. Kevin got it. Yep. You ready for this? Kerry got it. Benoit got it. Soros, exactly. Brokers, you guys are close. You know who's printing money? Here it comes, the exchanges. Stock exchanges are beating the hell out of every stock. Why? A pickup in volumes on higher vol in 2018 has been a boon to exchanges and market makers. We are going to get bullish most likely next week on CME Group, man. I work there, know the dudes. The trading volumes I'm hearing from people are disgusting with this, and they are going to blow earnings out of the water. Bam! You got it, Karen. Nice job. It's the exchanges. Your homework, should you choose to accept it, and you shall, is to look at CME Group. Start doing a little intel on that. We're going to talk about our Jan 19, essentially our Jan 19 game plan when we onboard some of our new Full Throttle members. So new Full Throttle members, there's a little plug that we have our sectors that we target. Okay, and Amazon, energy, or services, energy, sin stocks, defense, finance, transport, and Captain Kirk. Our Brazil trade, the Trump of the tropics, is doing great. Balsarno down in Brazil, and then FXI. We're actually going to get bullish on China here soon, guys. We got 3 months to maybe hang and get ready to get long-term bullish on China. But I'm going to add a new sector. I might go hold on energy and put in the CME Group, the exchange. All right. let's take a look at the weekly options trade from yesterday, guys. So we looked at it. I never got filled on the Iron Condor. I got filled on the bear call spread here. So if you are a new potential member, like I said, we do weekly options on Monday. Weekly options are nothing more than options that expire. You ready for it? Weekly. They expire every Friday. Sometimes we're in them for an hour. Sometimes we're in them for maybe a day. Like today, we might look to get out of this one. Sometimes we dogfight the trade all week until Friday, and no kidding, till the closing bell. But yesterday at 1 o'clock, this was members only. No offense, you guys weren't invited, because we give and this full throttle week is actually condensed from previous ones. I know we give them away a lot of free content, and I appreciate my current members for giving me a heads up. Like, dude, you need to pare down the amount of free stuff you give away. But here was yesterday's trade, folks. Selling 160 of Friday, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day, of the 43 calls. That was me saying, and the FXI, in case you don't know, is the iShares China ETF. We are now officially like 27 for 31 trades on China in the past 6 months that are profitable. Four were not profitable. And horseshoes and hand grenades, right? I think most of those we were like 1 day away from the thing imploding, because these have been all bearish except for maybe an Iron Condor or two. So these, whoever said that exactly. If we want to play option stump the chump, the last day to trade these is Friday. They settle on Saturday. So we got this trade at 17 cents yesterday, right? 17-cent credit. Some of you got 19. I saw somebody post a couple. Some of you got 20. So let's take a look at the metrics real quick. So some of you might be sitting there going, 160 contracts. It's kind of an odd number. It's not an odd number, because one of the things you're going to get taught here at Top Gun Options is that you need an SOP, right? We had them in the squadron. You need a standard operating procedure. A trading SOP. How much? Before I got airborne on any mission in the Navy, I knew exactly what could potentially kill me, what the max risk was. Same thing in my trading. So I'm going to teach you that based on the $100,000 notional model portfolios here, right? 100 grand. I don't want to risk more than 5%. And for you political science majors out there like me, that's 5 grand on any one trade. Okay, dude, where'd you get that? I got that after a quarter of a century doing this. I just know that, and obviously you can do the math. If I got a 50 grand portfolio, maybe 2.5%. We have 2 billionaires who trade here. They have family offices, but they like to kind of trade with their own money too. So you have to come up with your own SOP. But this is a good. If I get wiped out in a trade, I just completely take a max loss of 5 grand. I'll live to fight it again another day. It breaks my heart to bump into retail traders when I give speeches around the world or the United States, and Wiz, I'm in this trade. Your max risk? How much can you lose? And they usually look at me like, you jerk. Why are you raining on my parade? Well, I'm not raining on your parade. You should have known before you got into that trade what your max potential loss. Right? So look at that. The 160 contracts worked out to be right around 5 grand, 52.80. And as a skipper, I'm okay with that. I sign the SOP. I can break it slightly. And it's up to me. Once you look, and I'm going to when we do our Amazon trade here in a couple minutes, I'm going to teach you. You always look at this first. If this is unacceptable to you, either don't do the damn trade or you do less contracts. Wiz, I don't mind risking 20 grand on that trade. Well, then you do, I do my own math. 480 contracts, whatever. Wiz, I want to risk 2,700. Well, then you do 80. I can't tell you what to do. I can't give you trading advice. You guys are getting to eavesdrop on what I'm doing. So now that we say, all right, man, I get my max risk. I know it. Now we can peek our eyes up here and go, all right, so I'm risking 53 to potentially make 27. And then obviously underneath these with those percentages next to it is using at the money volatility with E-Trade options of max profit, max loss, and also the break even. So I'm going to teach you, and you should have read in the trade plan, the free trade plan that I gave you guys, $45 that I gave you all for free. Wow, it's at 3 cents now. Woo, we are going to close that one, baby. Here, I'm going to teach you that the most important part of our trade plan is step number 3, our commit criteria. Why are we committing capital to this trade? And my commit criteria on this trade, a bearish weekly trade on China, was simple. This was a short squeeze yesterday. There was absolutely no good news coming out of Buenos Aires other than we're not going to fire higher tariffs on the 1st of January. That ain't bullish, man. That's bearish. So I knew yesterday that this was a short squeeze. Remember, when you're short, right? When you're short, you say, hey, broker, go borrow me some shares, and I promise I'm going to replace them at a lower price. If the stock, or in this case, the ETF, don't go down, the second it goes up by a penny, man, you're losing money exponentially. So what do you have to do to close a short? You got to buy the shares back. It's kind of, you got to roll inverted to think about it, but it makes sense intuitively. So short squeezes end, guys. They don't, the shorts get out like, oh, my God, almost really got my rear end handed to me. And then what happens? The thing goes down. There was not one bullish thing that I heard regarding Buenos Aires, including yesterday, the Larry Kudlow White House clown car. The clock starts on January 1st, and we'll try and get something. Actually, it started on December 1st. That's what the president said. Didn't you kind of hear what he was saying? Whew. So let's take a look at what this trade is looking at from yesterday. It was the 43 and a half bear call spread. It's currently at 5 cents. What did I say? 17? Let's do mental math together. 17 minus 5 times 160 contracts equal. Whoa. See, I told you I was a political science major. What is it? That's 15 times 160. $2,400 in one day. Close this trade if you're in it. $2,400, guys, in a day on one trade. Now, I'm going to do a little foreshadowing for you, folks. So there was the max risk, 27.20. There's the current profit, and somebody said it was at 3 cents a little while ago. Man, if you can get out for 3 cents, that'd be great. So, 88% return on risk in a day. Let me get a hell yeah from potential new members if you wouldn't have minded making $2,400 in a day on $5,200 in risk. That's the worst thing that could have happened. Donald Trump could have came out this morning and said, I got a signed document from Adolf Hitler. Oh, wait, no, that was Neville Chamberlain. I got a signed document from President Xi that we got a trade deal. And the FXI went to 100. The worst thing that could have happened was losing $5,200. Instead, we're going to put $2,400 in our account right now. Yeah, guys, and we're going lower. I would, you ready for this? For especially my coaching folks. It is bearish double vertical time on FXI. Pound this thing into the dirt. There is not 1 ounce of good news. The president has booted Steve Mnuchin from negotiations and Larry Kudlow. So Mr. Magoo and Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, both those dudes got booted. And now you got 2 China hawks, guys. What is the president telegraphing here? The president, he's got to love that Jerome Powell, at least it looks to the market, blinked, right? The president thinks he put Jerome Powell in a box. So guess what? Pound this thing into the dirt. Okay. So let me just annotate this on our member page that we are going to get out of that. And whoever, Steve, you got 20 cents yesterday. So Steve's up 27.50. So let me update this page. And let me do a little bit of foreshadowing, like I said, to the potential new members. $2,400 pays for a year membership into TGO, an annual membership. So men lie, numbers don't. I just showed you that in one day you could have paid for an annual membership. Update. Close FXI 43 and a half bear call spread at, oh, hey, what was it, 5 cents? At 5 cents for a $2,400 / what's that? 88% profit in one day. Let me update that. So we just annotate that we're closing that one. And guys, about the tech system, check this out. It's down to 3 cents. Man, that is phenomenal. Well, I'm showing 5. Whoever's showing 3, you might be looking at the bid there. But if you can get out for 3, that is that's bad. Al, what are you talking about? 10 contracts, Al. I didn't put 160. It says 10 here, Al. Look at the trade, man. The trade yesterday at 160 contracts. I'm just, when I do this, Al, I'm just trying to see what the pricing is. Well, there you go, Al. There's the trade from yesterday. Understood? Oh, it's not Skype. It's right here, Al. 160 contracts, right there, man. Okay. At your Air Force, that explains all of it. Okay. Doug didn't get filled on that. You got to manage, as I said yesterday, you have to manage. I got filled on this. I said, hey, take a look at a potential iron condor. If the bull put spread it isn't looking so hot, I'd get out of it. I'd eject. We're heading lower. Remember, guys, when you're presented with new data, we might even look at a bearish double vertical on this thing. So anyway, Tim, no, it doesn't. The contract size does not change the price. Absolutely does not. Whether you're coming in at 1 contract or 1,000, well, 1,000 might, but no. When you're dealing this small, Tim, it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. So, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. John, trade deal shortly. No, the answer is no, guys. Let me, folks, get bearish on China. John, maybe you joined late here. I just gave us a 15. This is why everybody needs to show up on time. I gave us about a 15-minute brief on why we're going lower. There ain't no trade deal anytime soon. The fact that, and yeah, now we're down 700 points on the Dow, guys. The fact, maybe I'll just switch over to SDS. If you do not have your SDS long calls on, you haven't listened to me. Get long SDS calls right now. This is the year that we might not be seeing a Santa Claus rally, man. As I said the other day, I'm like, I just ain't feeling it. I mean, Christ, look at, I didn't say that. Some lady yelled at me last time. I'm like, hey, ma'am, I was a sailor. If you can't take a slip every once in a while, please don't join my squadron. So look at this. XRT was doing, the retail ETF was doing a nice, kind of climb here, and we imploded. So let me shift because, well, yeah, Rick, it's worth holding the Jan XRT because, as we predicted, guys, with Trump flying down to Buenos Aires, I told you that I don't even think Donald Trump knows what he's doing when he gets there, right? So who knows that he, Kenneth, that's a good size. Absolutely. That's definitely doable. We have folks who trade with $1,000. We got, like I said, we got 2 billion, multi-billionaires here at TGO and everything in between. So, yeah, Kenneth, that's a good size. You just scale your contracts appropriately. So if I had a $20,000 account, and again, I'm not talking just to Kenneth, I'm talking to anybody, like that, but you got to talk to an RIA, but I'd probably only want to risk, maybe $1,000 on any one trade, right? To manage my risk. That's what I'd be doing. But guys, let's hold in the chat box for right now. Again, this is why we only let a handful of members in each time we do this, because we can't stand a zoo. You have got, how many of you do not have your hedge on? Like I've told you, this will be this 5 out of, you ready for this, guys? 5 out of 6 times that I've recommended putting hedges on. Here, there, and there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 out of 6 times they have printed money. Steve's up 475% in his SDS calls. Awesome. Celia, I had him on, then I forgot to get him back on. So listen to me, guys. We are going lower. Scott, so Wiz, you're saying the first Christmas in a lot of years. Listen to me, folks, and I see a lot of new members asking questions. I've been doing this for 26 years. I sat down the other day and calculated, I think 23 out of 26 years, November, December has seen a nice Santa Claus rally. I am telling you, this ain't going to be one of the years unless, folks, let's think through this intuitively. Back here, does anybody even remember Black Friday and Cyber Monday? No. You know, we got some good videos of people beating the hell out of each other to save $10 at Walmart, and that was it. What else did we get? Amazon. 50% of all online sales went to us, right into our pocket. 25% increase in shopping on Thanksgiving. So they even put Black Friday ain't even Black Friday anymore. It's Thanksgiving people are shopping. What did we hear as far as sales over that holiday weekend? Epic. You have never seen anything so good. We can't believe we printed this much money. I predicted that, right? That it was going to be that good. I said the Trump tax cuts, businesses who've never even given out Christmas bonuses are going to be giving out bonuses, more cash. We're going to have blowout numbers. What did the market do? It shrugged. Bad indicator number one. We put that behind us, and what was the next alligator closest to the boat? The Fed. The Fed chief giving a speech at the Economic Club in New York. What did he do? Well, back in October, I said we're not even close to neutral. I think we're just below neutral. Rip your face off relief rally. Oh, my God, the Fed blinked. What did I say? I said absolutely not. Do not believe this pop. The Fed, he really didn't. He kind of said everything he said in October. He changed 2 words. And if you think the all clear has been given, you're wrong. Then what happened in Buenos Aires? I'm not going to regurgitate it. Guys, this is not a good chart. Roll upside down. Everybody roll inverted right now. Think of this market as going down and this going up. You would call this what? A triple bottom, and that we'd be going higher. Okay, now roll regular and look at this. We are looking at a triple top, and we have not had a bottom. We have not bottomed out in this market, guys. I'm telling you for a fact. I called it here and here. The institutions haven't started selling. Being down 700 points right now, dish. I'll stop talking in a second, guys. I know everybody's, if you don't have your hedges on, you're dying to get them on. But I still have 2 sets of SDS calls. And somebody asked last week about them. Like, I still have these December 7th SDS calls on. What was my answer, guys? Exactly. That's what I never take those off unless they're extremely profitable. Folks, I never climbed into the F-18 and grabbed the ejection seat and threw it out and said, hey, give me more gas. That's why you have these hedges. All right, so I'll stop talking, but we have got to have a bottom here, guys. And this Thanksgiving Friday, half a day of trading, was not a bottom. Thank you. You bet, Jennifer. Jennifer's like, I've listened to every word you said and have printed money on my hedges. I appreciate that, Jennifer. So, well, so we just got a nice 1-day weekly options trade with the bear call spread with FXI. We'll talk Raytheon in a second, but here's SDS. Let me give you the quick and dirty here. SDS, in case you're not familiar, folks, is the ProShares Ultra Short ETF. Okay? So what does ultra short mean? If you look at SH, if you're an aviator, you know what that means. That means shit hot. It does. Well, SH is the ProShares Short S&P 500, meaning if the S&P goes down 1, this goes up 1, and vice versa. I like afterburner trades, man. I want stuff with violence. I like turning our enemies into hair, teeth, and eyeballs. So this is ultra short, which means it is double the move. If the S&P goes down 1, this goes up 2. That's why you're seeing this massive move today. Can it go higher? The hell yeah. If we get wash out selling to get to a bottom, we could easily get back up to SDS 40. Okay, now I'm helping potential new members and current members who took their SDS off. Here's what we're going to do. Guys, I'm going to answer all this. This is why we got to keep new members to a minimum here. I'm building what I'm doing right now, folks. If you're at a shitty service, I would have given you the trade about 3 minutes ago and just moved on. like I said, you have to have your strategic mindset, what you're targeting. My strategic mindset is bearish. I've been bearish for the past month, and I've been right. Commit target, SDS, commit criteria. I just mumbled through about 5 sentences of it. Now we can get to the tactic. Everybody, open the damn trade plan I gave you. Please follow through it with me. I'm going through the trade plan. This is why you want to be a TGO member, man. We stay disciplined. Here we go. Thanks, James. I appreciate it, bro. All right, so I'm going to pull up my options chain for SDS, and I'm going to hop in my time machine. So historically, you ready for this? And I know if you're jonesing for the trade right now, you're not going to be a good TGO member. You got to listen to why I'm doing this, man. I want to teach you how to fish, for Christ's sake. I can do this on my own and print money. Look at this. Last November through the middle of January, this is what usually happens around Thanksgiving. Rip your face. Even under Barack Hussein Obama, all the retailers, every year, every retailer does what? They underpromise and overdeliver. Oh, this is going to be an awful Christmas. It's going to suck. Hey, we printed money rally. This year it was, look at the Target CEO. His last earnings call, the guy could not have been more bullish. He's like, I've never seen conditions like this. People have more money in their pocket from the tax cuts. Their earnings, their wages are going up. There are more jobs in this country than there are Americans, illegal immigrants, that are buy. It hasn't happened, right? So why'd I get on this little side rant? Because I want to pick a time frame. What has happened historically, ladies and gentlemen, is retail stocks rally right until they do what? Sell on earnings. You ever hear this? It's a Wall Streetism. You're going to get a lot of whizisms. This is a Wall Streetism. Buy on the rumor, sell on the news. How many of you have traded earnings, which is stupid, and lost money? Wiz, I thought Target was going to print money. They did, and the stock went down. That's why you don't trade earnings. So most around the middle of January, when all the people come out and go, you wouldn't believe how disgusting Christmas was. It's in there. Usually, 23 out of 26 times I've done this, usually the fall has a nice Santa Claus rally. This fall ain't a normal fall, guys. We got the Fed raising interest rates and unwinding a $5 trillion balance sheet. If you followed me on the Options News Network in 2009, I said, let it burn. Give me this too big to fail shit. The Fed, that's not your job, Fed. Full employment inflation. You ain't no proper of the stock market. This is the result of their bullshit. So why am I going on this rant? Because I need to give you a time frame. So if we tend to sell off around the middle of January because of really good earnings, why don't we get a hedge on through that period of time? So, well, and Deborah, and I'll answer a couple of these. You hear the term Santa Claus rally. It's December 4th. There could still be a Santa Claus rally. Let me be clear. The Fed, when the hell's the Fed meeting? But I got to be honest with you. The Fed might actually... the Fed meeting coming up, we know he's raising interest rates. The Fed's raising interest rates. But he might repair the damage he did with his speech last week. When the market said, dude blinked. He's a coward. Trump scared him. What if the Fed comes out in a week and a half and goes, yeah, what I said in that speech the other day wasn't exactly right. We're going to raise, rates there. So, and whoever just scrolled by, nice piece of intelligence that I know, but I forgot to brief, is what? What was supposed to happen by Friday? That only when people die do we get bipartisan. What's supposed to happen this week? You got it, Frank. A government shutdown. You got it, Benoit. Steve, Amy, that's exactly right. What happened? We're going to delay it 2 weeks until the body's cold. George Bush's body's cold. And then the president has demanded. He says, I will shut this government down if you don't give me $5 billion for the border wall. And Nancy and Chuck have said, what? We're going to shut this government down unless you give us a Protect Mueller rider on the bill. What has Trump said? You can kiss my ass. I'm shutting this down. What have Nancy and Chuck said? We ain't giving you a penny for the border wall. Translation, volatility. So this headline that I was laughing at ages ago, it is up to Donald Trump to save the stock market, ain't exactly funny. Ladies and gentlemen, you know the guy as well as I do. I know him a little bit more. My sister owns a real estate trust in New York, Dune Capital. Her name's Kia Buckley. She knows the Donald very well. The dude is the only president in my life who really pumped his chest almost on a daily basis saying, huge. Nobody does markets like me. Forget about it. Believe me, huge markets. Well, guess what, Donald? If you owned it on the way up, dude, you own this. So is the guy vain enough to let this happen? Right? So, yeah, exactly. Mexico paying for the wall. Apparently they're not. So very long. That was longer than I needed to do as far as commit criteria. But if you're not doing this before you place a trade, if you're just listening to some dude or lady, I like this, and you do it, or if you take stock advice from a guy who uses an air horn and a cowbell, you deserve to be broke. I just gave you my strategic mindset, my target, my commit criteria, and now the tactic. So I would most likely, if things are going to get nuts, guys, and here's one thing I didn't say, here's my last sentence in my commit criteria. Tax loss selling. Tax loss selling. Mike, great comment. The president does not want to own a down market. Who has he placed the blame squarely on for this down market? One group of people and one organization. You got it, man. The Democrats and the Fed. Crazy Maxine Waters is the head of the House Finance Committee or Oversight. I'm going to subpoena every Wall Street CEO, oil CEO. We're going to impeach Trump. The dude just got a 2-year re-election campaign commercial. And he also said the Fed is crazy. I had a great stock market, and the Fed is the reason your 401k. So good piece of it. Good. We got a good group of potential new folks here. Here we go. So for Wiz, I got some out to here and here. I already have my SDS on. If I did not have my hedges on, and I'm glad most of you do, I tend to go out in my time machine. I probably cover through the end of the year. And I really don't want to brief this, but I'm going to brief a little bit of it. When's my birthday? Subtle, shameless plug. When's my birthday? Exactly. I'm a New Year's baby. December 31st. Right? And I'm losing a 4 this year, and I'm gaining a 5 in the front. Why am I bringing this up? Not for presents. I saw a report yesterday that ISIS and Al-Qaeda operatives are planning to take up sniper positions. What happens on December 31st, New Year's Eve? The ball drop. And I get New York's, but what I'm getting at, folks, is you need to be hedged around these type of big events because God forbid something happens. Google it. It was on the Drudge Report yesterday. Of course, the government doesn't want to report on that shit because it really scares the hell out of people. So you got to be hedged through at least the end of the year. And there's tax loss selling. Guess what? If hedge funds who finally a year later coming around to dump all these tech names that I told you to dump a year ago and to short, there might be a lot of tax loss selling, which is going to drive the market even lower. Now, what could happen January 1st? Hey, man, all these things are beaten up. Rally. I get it, man. Since we're not getting or might not get a Santa Claus rally this year, maybe we get a mid-January instead of the earnings, selling the news. Maybe it's a buy on the news after we get bludgeoned for a month. We good? That was way too long commit criteria, but with all the new folks, I just don't throw trades out here. What do? I hop in my time machine. Let's go out to January 4th. Let's take a look at the calls deep in the money. If you can kind of see on my E-Trade platform, you see like the light gray, that's called in the money. And then this white area is called out of the money. And then you're ready for all the political science majors. This right here is called at the money, right? So I tend to buy calls that are closest to a 0.8 delta. And if you have no idea what delta means, don't worry about it. I'm going to spend some time when you become a member. I think tomorrow we open the slots or whenever it is. You get 8 training sessions, guys. So I don't have to explain in the live trade briefs how I'm doing all this stuff. You can go watch that video, hour and a half training session on your own. So I buy the 0.8, the closest to a 0.8 delta. Okay. Buying 10 of the Jan 4 35 calls. Why do I buy a little bit in the money calls? They got some meat on the bones, man. and they have an 80% probability of finishing with some profit, right? If you want a little bit of a lottery ticket and some cheaper calls, maybe buy some at the money calls. We're starting to burn through time here. I don't want to go too deep into this. When you become a member, you'll know this whole discussion. And again, this is one of those reasons people give me crap for giving away too much free stuff, but you need this, guys. So if you just buy 10 of these 36 calls, you'd come out of pocket $28.40. Right? And let's just take a look at our metrics. The most you could possibly lose on this trade is $28.40. But I want to punch myself in the face right now. Why? Because I just said the most you can lose is $28.40. I hate that word. Hate's a strong word there, man. Aren't you a Catholic? Yeah, and I hate the word lose. Do you know why? Because if these are being used as a hedge, I didn't lose $28.40. Yeah, you did. It's right on the screen. No, I didn't. If these calls go out worthless, I'll eat my hat and be happy, because that means we had a market rally. And all the other Jan or bull put spreads and other positions we have on are smiling. I will say it again. Not once did it go flying in the F-18 and go, hey, man, pull the ejection seat out. I'm feeling pretty good on this flight. I'm the best there is. I'm Ricky Bobby. Right? I wake up. Excellence. I'm the best there is. That's not, no, folks. If you think of putting on long calls and them going out worthless as losing money, you're going to have a brief career investing. Understand me when I say this. These things help me sleep better at night. This is why I don't care if the market's down 700 points. Sure, I have a couple spreads that might be in danger, or my extremely long leaps out to Jan 21 might be taking it on the chin. But one of the reasons we buy Jan 21s is what? They have a year and a half to work, dude. That's why we buy leaps. And we also buy leaps in names that are going to be around in 2 years. Right? And MGM and Amazon, a Raytheon, all of our longs, and ExxonMobil. So again, I'm taking a little time because this is a mindset, folks. The top of this isn't some little stupid marketing saying, guys. This is my job. What's that guy in Animal House? This is my job. Discipline, risk management equals superior execution, man. If you ain't managing risk, you're an idiot. Especially in this market. So please, if you look at buying calls and they went out yesterday, worthless, you lost money. Sure, they got theta eating away at them. I can't stand buying straight calls. When you become a member here, you're going to hear me complain for an hour about people who do this. How many times this year have I said to be a straight call buyer of SDS or VXX and it's printed money? So whoever just said, yeah, there's theta every day, you got it, man. You're a smart dude. You're absolutely right. But when the market's down $700, the penny you lost in theta, I'm pretty sure is negated by about the $3 you just made as Vega, right? So let me grab a screenshot of this because I will put this in the replay post for the members. And whoever did, yeah, guys, I already I still have some SDS on. Who was it? And I won't say your name, but who was it yesterday? Somebody yesterday in the weekly options brief said, hey, Wiz, what about the SDS calls expiring Friday? What did I tell them yesterday, folks? What did I say? That's exactly. All right. It was you. They are up $4,000 today. What were they down yesterday? Dude that shall not be named, who's a coaching client. Those calls yesterday, when somebody told me, asked if they should close them, were down $2,800. Now that's a $6,800 swing, man. Woo! Sam, I just talked for 12 minutes. Sam just said, Wiz, what if the market rallies? This hedge will be a loser. Sam, I just gave a 10-minute rant on how I hate the term lose and loser with hedges, man. You got to watch the replay, dude. Please listen louder. I'm not going to repeat all that. All right. So God and, well, maybe I'll black out your name in the replay. So there is the perfect example, folks. I do not touch my hedges unless they are printing money, and whoever. So I told you not to close them out yesterday, or I didn't tell you. I guided you to them. So, Sam, I did say we could lose $28 if $100 in the market rally. Sam, I gotta move on, dude. You gotta watch the replay. I just said it's not a loss to me, and if it's a loss to you, you're not going to be a good options trader. We're done talking about that. Does anybody else have it? You gotta make the mindset shift, guys. This isn't a loss of money. If you have longs that are getting hammered right now, your portfolio needs to look like a Christmas tree. On a day when the market's down 500 points, you need to have a couple blinding green trades. It should be a Christmas tree, and those greens need to be your hedges, man. And here's the other instrument we use to hedge. VXX or VIX. Let me bring up the VIX here. This is a good discussion, and we completely and we shuck and jive. That's why I love being an options trader, man. We shuck and jive with what's going on in the market, and we will shift our fire as appropriate. The VIX is up now. Now it's up since we're down 25%. Man, why isn't it up this high? You ready for this? This is awesome. I can't wait to give this discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the new normal. Now, as I thought you said about an hour ago that you didn't see washed out selling, institution selling, and you didn't see a spike in the VIX. We will, if we do get the Fred Sanford big coming, Elizabeth, we will get a higher spike in volatility. We might even get back up to here. But this used to be, you remember this, guys, down here? Remember these days? I feel like Archie Bunker. Those were the days. Remember this? Like a VIX around 11? What did I call this level? Our resting heart rate. Guess what I said last week? I think we have a new resting heart rate up here. Look at that delta, guys. Why is it doing this? Oh, whiz. Because this is normal now. What's normal? The president saying, huge, got it. Does anybody remember what the president did like 2 days before the election? I do. The president came out and said, just got off the phone with Xi. Got off the phone with President Xi. Good things coming. Trade deal. We're going to figure this out. Market rallied a little bit, and I said, sell into it. Right? I said, it looked so desperate. The guy looked like an idiot. I laughed. I'm like, Larry Kudlow, Steve Mnuchin, Navarro, Lighthouser, all these guys have said, we're not even talking to the Chinese. Remember Larry Kudlow? He 2 months ago, it seems like a year ago, he was sat on stage. He's like, I don't even know the dude's number who I'm supposed to talk to. Right before the election, the president trying to get the market to rally a little bit. He's like, I called Xi. Xi we played golf up at Mar-a-Lago. Good dude. We're going to get a trade deal done. What an awful, it's bad. Yeah, in the old days where men were men. So, all right. Well, and Frank, exactly. So not only do we have these hedges on, we're selling front month upside short calls in some of our longs, right? And I know, and if you feel like you're drinking from a fire hose guy, first of all, usually we don't see, days like this, but we're having fun. If I get that, if some of your longs are getting hammered, you can still be making money here, guys. We're going lower. Okay, it's a given. Now the algorithms jump in, and now Celia, fire hose today for sure. All right, let's cover. We got to get moving because we got to knock it off at 1:30. I'm going to try and get to Amazon. If you can get the spread at a better price, do it. I understand it's probably pulled back significantly since then. But remember, one of the reasons I picked the expiration on Amazon was to give that spread time to do good. Listen to me real quick. I think Amazon is becoming a little bit more immune to this trade war crap. Amazon doesn't care about car tariffs. Amazon doesn't care about soybeans. They ain't shipping autos around the world. They ain't shipping soybeans. Me buying my G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip for my son, they care about. So that's why I put that bull put spread on. But guys, let me press. We need to talk about Raytheon. So anyway, let's do Raytheon first, and then we'll talk Amazon. If we don't, even though the market's closed tomorrow, we'll talk about Amazon and stuff like that tomorrow. So last week, this was last whatever Tuesday was, we looked at a Raytheon bear call spread. Right, Raytheon, as you'll learn if you're not a current member and you're feeling this out, is our defense sector pick. What about General Dynamics? What about Lockheed? What about Boeing? What about any of the other ones? The shipbuilder, General Dynamics. I said that one. Don't buy any of those. You buy Raytheon. What are you talking about, dude? I sat, which explains my balding head. I sat behind a APG 65 and 73 radar for 15 years. I had kids, and I think they're okay. But Raytheon is the guts of every submarine, ship, and aircraft. You buy the guts, man. You don't buy Boeing. Somebody canceled their deals. Well, they're building those airplanes and they're going to sit somewhere, but they got Raytheon stuff in it. So we are long-term bullish on, let me pull up Raytheon, long-term bullish on Raytheon out to Jan 21. Right? So you're going to learn when you become a member that we can hop in our time machine and fly all the way out to here and be bullish. 2 years from now, guys, Raytheon's a $250 stock, maybe $300. Easily. It ain't going out of business. Donald J. Trump is least a president who wants to turn our enemies into hair, teeth, and eyeballs. I haven't even mentioned the word, I did say Iran when I talked about Sterno killing himself. But look at what the president did with North Korea. A year and a half ago, liberals were frothing at the mouth. He's going to get us all killed. He's calling him Rocket Man, and he's going to vaporize North Korea. He was, folks. I am very good friends with the captain and 2 air group commanders that last October were off North Korea. We had 3 carrier strike groups. One was a former Blue Angel buddy of mine. Donald Trump was bombing North Korea last fall. Period. I can tell you that for a fact. What happened? Dude's shaking hands in Singapore. And the same liberals are frothing at the mouth that, oh my God, he's shaking hands with a dictator. Which one is it, guys? You want a world war or you don't? Whatever. What I'm getting at is Iran. Iran ain't no cream of some young guy. That dude wants to live. That dude wants his women. He wants his Trump hotel on the beach. That guy wants to live. Iranian mullahs don't give a shit. Google this, the 12th imam. The Iranian mullahs want to hasten the arrival of the 12th imam. Exactly, Jenny. The USS Stennis has been ordered to the Persian Gulf because they just launched their newest stealth destroyer, which I think I could sink with my rifle. Anyway, my point being is, guys, we are long-term bullish on Raytheon. And here's what's cool about trading options. You can be bipolar, and so can I. You can be long-term bullish on something out a couple years, and we'll cover this maybe tomorrow or Thursday. You can be long-term bullish, but short-term neutral, meaning like in the next month or 2 months, you can be bearish. And right now, bearish on Raytheon. It needed to hold this level right there, and it just broke through it. Everything's breaking through it today. So let me take a look at the current spread from last week. Sam, I'm going to answer that question. I got booted. My regular private Twitter account got shut down by the limousine liberals at Twitter, man. They didn't like the way I talked and point out the truth. So come on over to here, Sam, at Top Gun Options is I've had this one for years. It's just sat in the background and I never used it. Now this is my backup account. I'm going to start poking these jerks again, man. What just an awful group of people. And the lady, I got a suspended account thing. I'm like, so let me get this straight. And here's why they suspended it. Some liberals like tear gas. The border guards are Nazis and they're throwing tear gas at people that are throwing rocks. I'm like, everybody see that border patrol agent killed, got hit in the head with a rock? I said, hey man, what's your address? Do you mind if I come to your house? And why don't you stand there and I'll throw rocks at you and see how you like it? It was a threat. It was a personal threat, and they booted me off of Twitter. I said, did you guys not see the tweet right here, in case you missed it, where Louis Farrakhan calls for the extermination of all Jews? They didn't reply to that one. So screw Twitter. They're limousine liberals that are awful. It makes my skin crawl. I don't want to be on it, but I want to be on it so I can be a pain in their ass. All right. So Raytheon, So let's take a look at the trades from last week. Sorry, we got to get back on track here. 30, we sold 30 of Friday's 172.5. This is at max profit. I don't even know why I'm going to go through this, but 30 of the 172.5 calls and bought as a hedge in case, I don't know, we had to rip your face off for the 175 calls. Let me show you the metrics of this trade. This looks familiar. Risking what? Risking right around $5,000. In this case, it was to potentially make 2,200. So this one I would absolutely close. What's it currently priced at? Anybody have it up here? We're going to add to it. Man, we got a lot to do here. We got it for 74 cents, the 172.5, 175, 172.5, 175. Thank you. You bet, Jennifer. Very nice words. Well, hopefully you can become a member and we do even better. 72.5, 175. It's down, what did I say, 74? That's 60 times. You know what? I hate 60 times. That's $1,900. So it's 60-cent profit rate now. That's 30 contracts. I'll do that. 60 times 30. It's 18. Jesus Christ. It's getting late, man. $1,800. Dano, I covered that at the beginning. I'm going to do a 1 p.m. session for vertical spread training. The market's closed. We're going to do accelerated retirement on Thursday. So $1,800. 18 out of 2250. So that's a 80%. So I'd close the Raytheon bear call spread and I'd add another one. Public math, Mike. CME going up. That's funny, guys. Why is CME? I gave you a little sneak peek, man. Look at that. That's because the market's imploding and people are trading their ass off. If you are a current member, here's your homework, man. Do a Jan 21 long call diagonal or synthetic stock. You got it, Karen. Do it now, man. And if you are a relatively new member, I know some of you guys joined us recently, go underneath member content, full throttle. Even if you're brand new to options, guys, you can watch this video and you will know what to do. This ain't tough, man. The video that is synthetic stock and long call diagonal. I did it in this video on MGM. Delete MGM and insert CME. It's the same exact process, man. It's a checklist, okay? Sure, I'll put the link in the chat box, but if you're not a member, it's going to say not found. So the first person who says, I can't open this, I'm going to boot you out of here because you didn't hear me. This is for my current members. Remember, you guys are getting to eavesdrop in here. This ain't going to work if you ain't a paying member. If you are a member right now, watch this after this brief and do it on CME, man. I guarantee you CME starts. If we get into worse of a shitstorm than we are right now, which I'm predicting, I'll say it one more time, man. I think we're going lower. If we head lower down here, CME is either going to stay where it is or go even higher. Trading. And you know why CME is going to make even more money? Who hasn't started selling yet? Who hasn't started selling yet? And when, not if they start selling, you're going to see a lot of volume? Who? You got it. Institutions. You haven't seen Goldman, JP, you haven't seen the big heavy step in and start selling the hell out of this market. And when they do, CME is going to print even more. So good. Thanks, Dano, for the heads up. All right, back to Raytheon. Let me write that down. That we want to get out of this one. 14 cents. Let me update that page. 43 and a half. That was FXI. We might. What time is it? Shit. Primary live trade brief. I'm a benevolent dictator. I'm gonna put this up for a vote. Sam, if you're in the Jan 2020 trade, yeah, I think Raytheon absolutely recovers by then. Where is it? How many of you were in the Brazil Iron Condor last week? Shit, I forgot to brief that one. How many of you got into that EWZ Iron Condor? That was nice. It was a weekly from the bear call spread sucked. We covered that one on Friday. But the Iron Condor was sweet, risking forward and made for. All right, edit, post. Hang on one second. Hold on. Okay. All right. Update. Let me type this in here. Whoa. I don't want that. Update. 12.4 at 225. Close. RTN 172/170. 172.5. Damn it. I need better memory. Yeah, 172.5, 175. Jenny, I don't think it's got a bottom for a while. 172.5 for Raytheon. Here's what's not good for Raytheon is House Senate Republicans, man. What's his name? The dude that was the hero of the Kavanaugh hearings is now turned into a jerk with this whole killing of he ain't no journalist, guys. First of all, the dude was a Saudi Arabian citizen. And second of all, if writing a couple op-eds for the Washington Post makes you a journalist, I hereby declare myself the emperor of global media. Okay. Bear call spread. What was it at 14 cent? Debit. $1,800/80% profit, and that's 1 week. All right, let me update that. All right, we got a couple, man. Let me take a look at Amazon real quick, and then I got back-to-back coaching that I need to jump on here. Sam, I answered that. Yeah, if you don't think Raytheon's going to recover by Jan 2020, you shouldn't. I'd close it. I don't. I'd add to Raytheon here. I've been adding to Raytheon all along these bottoms, man. Take a look at the chart of Raytheon, folks. Look at how Raytheon did under Barack Hussein Obama, who personally gutted our military, spare parts, cut flight hours. Everybody remember the term sequestration? I had buddies on the Blue Angels and Thunderbirds who didn't fly. Remember, they canceled the air show seasons because they didn't have money. This is how Raytheon did under Barack Hussein Obama. Now we got some market volatility, I get it, but this thing goes up over time, baby. But if you don't think it's going up by Jan 2020, get out of it. Anyway, well, guys, a double bottom in Raytheon, it has to hold. What was this? What was the bottom there? It's got to get the famous Wiz quote, right? Give me one more day while markets close tomorrow. We'll talk more Raytheon on Thursday, guys. It's got to hold here. But remember, even if it doesn't, I'm not some super chart guy, folks. If it goes lower just because everybody's kind of imploding here, add to it, man. So I know it will move up, but my question is by when will Raytheon start to move up in price? Man, my call sign's Wiz. It ain't Nostradamus. I have no idea. As a matter of fact, short term, I'm bearish on Raytheon, Sam. I just told you why. If Lindsey Graham doesn't get that stick out of his ass about canceling, first of all, demanding Saudi Arabia get out of Yemen, and then, we have a $110 billion arms deal that an agreement was signed in a memorandum of understanding. It still needs to be approved. So Republicans can't get out of their own way, man. Democrats play tackle football as Republicans play touch. Makes me furious. You ready for this rant? The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, 15 of its citizens killed 3,000 Americans. Let me say that slowly. 15 Saudi Arabians killed 3,000 Americans. Last time I checked in my book, in Wiz's Journal of Military Crap, that's a surprise attack, and we're coming after you. What did we do? George Bush? Nothing. well, Al-Qaeda, Afghanistan, 17-year war. Let me get this straight. Saudi Arabia kills a non-U.S. citizen. He's a Saudi Arabian citizen, by the way, guys. Don't give me this. He had some sort of green, whatever. He ain't an American citizen. And the dude was a Muslim Brotherhood supporter and Al-Qaeda supporter. Liberals, go to war with Saudi Arabia. Hurrah, frothing at the mouth. If we didn't go to war when they killed 3,000 Americans, you can kiss my ass if we're going to end our relationship with Saudi Arabia over some guy. Tragic, horrific. Guess what? We do pretty. Look at Trump shaking hands with the cream of some young guy. The guy's got gulags. He kills his own people. He took his uncle out a year ago, tied him up at the end of the range, and shot him with anti-aircraft artillery. Get over it. My God. Anyway, so here's my problem with Raytheon, guys, is that if Senate Republicans don't grow some spine and go, you know what, we've been in bed with some pretty shady characters in our republic's history. Do you really want to, stick it to Saudi Arabia? That's the barbell in the Gulf, guys. You got Iran, death to America on a daily basis. They want to kill all of you and me. Or do we kind of stay somewhat friendly with Saudi Arabia to make sure that doesn't happen? Come on, man. Donald Trump was a real estate developer in New York. The guys who run the folks who run concrete in New York ain't the Girl Scouts. So we have to do business sometimes with unseemly folks. So here's what worries about me, guys, is Lindsey Graham and Jeff Flake, kind of saying, hey, no deal. Short term, Raytheon will get kicked in the gut. We can make money when things are getting kicked in the gut, guys. I just showed you. We just closed a one-day trade on FXI. When things are going down, you can get bearish and make money. Our long term might not be looking so happy and healthy, but that's why we did them that far out, folks. Watch the training video. What do I say when I put a long on? One of the reasons I hop in my F-18 and go supersonic out 2 years from now is what? In case something bad happens, it's got time to recover. And we make money trading front month spreads and short calls. Okay? So, all right, guys, I've gone 2 minutes over. So you bet. Thank you. First of all, I tried to, as people were commenting there, just to stick with members' questions, because if you're a potential new member, we opened up the doors so you could see this live trade brief kind of in its good, bad, otherwise rants, all sorts of stuff. If you didn't feel like you were drinking from a fire hose today, I didn't do my job. But let me remind you, when you become a member, I will be a kinder, gentler skipper, right? You will get access immediately to 8 training videos that will take you from this is how the earth cooled, these are calls, these are puts, this is an iron condor. 8 sessions. And I appreciate everybody asking for how you become a member right now. At least let me do my training session tomorrow to show you, we'll talk about Amazon tomorrow, actually. I'll do a sample training session of what you get with us, and then we'll finish up the week on Thursday and Friday. So I appreciate you asking, hey, how can I join today? But let me meet me a little bit more. Wayne, I like the straightforward directions. Marine Corps veteran, married a great lady. USN veteran, 46 years. I call it New York direct approach. That's what I like about Trump. The no bullshit president tells it like it is. Thanks. Looking next session. You bet. Wayne, Semper Fi. My son he's up at Norwich University in the Corps Cadets, and he wants to fly for the Marine Corps. So, Dave, consider me drowned. Awesome. You bet. So good session, guys. I didn't get to Amazon. We ran out of time, but we had, in the middle of that, man, you have got to get your hedges on, man. If you don't have your hedges on, and I think we're, I think we're heading lower. I want to be, there's times at Top Gun Options where I actually tell you, I'm like, if I'm wrong, I want to be wrong, right? Last October, I said, we're going to bomb North Korea, get long volatility, get flat, go to cash, man. We didn't. That's the type of things you want to be wrong about. I'd love to be wrong that we're not going to implode. We have to implode more, guys, because no institutional trader or a family office that I talk to believes we have put in a bottom yet. Everybody and their mother, including my mother, believes we're heading lower. So, all right. Scott, we use Infusionsoft. We send out our text alerts and our email alerts out of Infusionsoft. In case you're wondering. So I sent out a text earlier, this text alert right here, a new trade on Amazon. And then I also put in the I sent a screenshot of the trades in there. So, but yeah, whoever just asked, Amazon tomorrow, guys. We're out of time. I'm already 4 minutes late, and I got some private coaching clients I need to talk to, and they're doing. So Amy, you're up at a quarter of bearish double vertical on FXI, guys. FXI is going to implode. There ain't no good news for the next 90 days, guys, in my opinion. So get bearish on FXI. Yep, the markets are closed tomorrow. Guys, as I briefed, we are not doing a live trading session tomorrow. And guess what? Members, I didn't even invite you guys. This is for new members only. So I'm not even sending you all the link because I want to meet with our new folks. So if you're sneaky, you might be able to figure it out. But otherwise, man, this is the flight schedule for the week, man. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. vertical spread training. The markets are closed. I got it. Tim's pouting. If you're smart, you save the link from today and you can stop by if you want. But like I said, guys, I want to talk to potential new folks. 1 p.m. we're going to pick up accelerated retirement on Thursday for all the new folks. I might open slots tomorrow because a lot of you are asking. And you should be. You should not be trading this market solo, man. We're having fun. I mean, this is, yeah, like I said, some of our longs might be in pain, but that's why they're called longs, man. They ain't shorts. Our shorts are printing money. So, all right, guys, I got to go. Have a great rest of your day. I will post the replay for the members on the member page, and for the non-members that you guys are pledges, we're going to make you guys buy us beer. When you guys, I'll post the replay down here. It'll be underneath this welcome aboard video. If you didn't watch this yesterday and you haven't watched it, that is your homework. For non-members, watch the welcome aboard brief. Yes, I will put the link in the chat box, and I will post the replay to this session within about 30 minutes. I'm walking downstairs here on Las Olas in Fort Lauderdale to go get a cup of coffee, stretch my legs, and then I will be back. Mike, my spirits are giving me a wedgie. Tradition, discipline, honor, and excellence. And when we trade poorly, travesty, decadence, horror, excrement. I love it. Very well said. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. I'll get the replay posted shortly. And I'll see some of you tomorrow outside of the funeral of the great man, good dude, good naval aviator for the president. And then we'll pick up our live trade briefs on Thursday. All right, guys, God bless, and I'll see you, some of you tomorrow and some of you.